My first question is to Professor Christine Fair. Professor Christine Fair, I just saw a video. Did I lose her there?
Nope, I'm here.
You're there? Okay. Professor Christine Fair is a professor at Georgetown University in the Edmund Walsh School of Foreign Service. And she's really, really deep into the region. She knows Pakistan well. She knows the terror infrastructure there well. She knows the mind of Pakistan, because if you have to understand the mind of Pakistan, you have to understand the terrorist groups and you have to understand the army. And therefore, she can begin with our perspective on that. Christine Fair, Dr. Fair, thank you for joining us. You know, we have a focus in this program tonight, which I'll start with taking the focus away from your area of specialization to trying to understand Trump. Because Trump is, it's very difficult, let me tell you this. Good luck. Good luck to all Americans to know what they're dealing with. See, the thing is this, that he said, first, we have nothing to do with what's going on between India and Pakistan. And then somewhere, there was a calibration towards saying that, you know, I can solve a 1,000-year-old problem. We've just been independent for not a little over
not even 80 years.
Not even 80 years. But he wants to solve a 1,000-year-old problem. The man has absolutely no idea of history. The worrying part is, Dr. Fair, he's not embarrassed to showcase his ignorance. Having said that, now he says, first he said, I solved it, I solved it, I solved it. He goes to Saudi, I solved it, goes to Qatar, I solved it. I'm the man who solved it, I fixed it, I solved it, I stopped the missiles, I stopped the nuclear war, Trump the Great. And now he says, he just said today, I'm not saying I solved it, I'm not saying I did it, but I sure as helped settle the issue. That's a big U-turn for the president, Christine Fair. How does one read what he's trying to do here?
So I'm an American. I think it's well known that I'm not a fan of Trump. And I'm living through this administration with white knuckles. I think this has to be seen in context of the way he speaks about a whole range of issues. Like he'll make a pronouncement, then he'll back out of it. He'll say he never said what he clearly said because we have video footage of him saying it. So I think the Indians are experiencing what Americans are experiencing every single day. I can't parse it any more than you can parse it. But what is clear is that while President Trump, I can't even put those two words together without choking, and Vice President Vance were making similar statements. What was happening was that Marco Rubio was talking to his counterparts on both sides. Tulsi Gabbard, also a person, not a fan of her, she was also talking to her counterparts, and there were counterpart conversations happening with DOD leadership as well. I can't imagine having a conversation with Pete Hegseth. I can't even imagine what that conversation may have been like. So while President Trump and Vice President Vance said that this has nothing to do with the United States, in point of fact, his cabinet was very much involved. What I will say just more generally, though, is that every time there's a new administration, this is not unique to Trump. Every time there's a new administration, there's a learning curve on India and Pakistan. You remember on 9/11, George W. Bush, he didn't have a clue about India and Pakistan. He had zero people in his cabinet that were clueful about it. So every time we get a new president, obviously Biden's an exception because he spent 8 years as Obama's vice president. We have this problem. It's made a lot worse because the way in which Trump has chosen his cabinet has not been on the basis of expertise, which to some extent he had in Trump 1. His first cabinet was comprised of people who had expertise. Now this cabinet is comprised basically of people who do chaploosi to Trump. So it takes a very general question or a general problem and really exacerbates it.